We're here on this windswept beach to witness the transformation of this coastal town into the venue for one of the world's biggest motorsporting events. David, we're down here on the Weston beach, first day of preparation. What's actually going on today?
We're just, there's a few fences being erected and we're starting to heap the sand up ready for the jumps.
You know when you say you're heaping the sand up, what's the actual process there? Are you actually finishing the jumps off today, or is it just getting the main sand into
just
one
getting
place?
the bulk of the sand in, because over the weekend you'll have a lot of riders might come down prior to next weekend. They'll be all running over the top of it, trampling it down. We'll sort it out end of next week, Thursday, Friday.
Say a lot of riders are running around and checking it out, but when does the actual shaping of it go on? Would that be the day before the event, and what's security involved with it then?
Well, some of it will have to happen before Thursday, because all the security fences will be up.
Yeah.
For the spectators on the Saturday morning. By Friday night it all wants to be closed up, really.
Yeah. Now also, I mean, you was telling me earlier about the sand. Doesn't seem to be a lot of fresh sand up on the top of the beach as well this year.
There's not a lot of sand drifted up this summer. We've got a lot by the seawall, but we're struggling to find it at the moment.
And is that going to make your job harder?
Well, we might have to just carry it in further from the water's edge up to the where we want it.
What I've been noticing earlier, the process seems to be you drop the blade and pushing it in. And what happens when you actually take the circuit down? Do you have to push it in back into the same places?
Well, push it in, but the water does a lot of the work for you, levelling it back out. As long as you get the basic pushed out. If we have a couple of high tides, that'll level it out for you.
And does the tide as well, is that going to affect the course building?
Yes, because we've got high tides till Tuesday, so we don't want to go down no further than where we are now, because it'll just wash the dunes back down. And
does the tides this year, they're a bit high this year, is that going to affect you time-wise? Is that going to put a lot of pressure on you?
It will slow it down. What we'll do is watch the tides the couple of days before the high tide, before it turns, and see how far it comes up, and we just have to put the dunes in and then get the sand ready just to shove there quick.
So there's a fair bit of pressure on you,
really. Yeah, there is
then.
really. And if they get the fences up down the straight, the sand will wash all around it and buries the bottom.
Going on to the fencing as well, I mean, is the tide that going to cause a lot of problems with the fencing? Because I know the barriers down the start straight, I mean, it's a mile down there. How far does the tide come up against those barriers?
It'll come up through the barriers.
It does? They
will try not to put those barriers up till last, because when the weight of the barrier on the legs, when the water comes through, it'll wash it, and we've got to dig them back out.
Yeah. How many people have you normally got doing on the actual barriers? I mean, that must be a big task in itself.
There is about 10 people all told.
It's a lot of work for 10 people in such a short space of time.
Well, I suppose they're on it for a fortnight.
Yeah.
The 27th running of the Western Supermare Beach Race, a gruelling circuit perhaps the toughest of its kind in the world, attracts thousands of riders from around the world and hundreds of thousands of spectators over the course of the weekend.
My name's Gerard O'Neill from Ireland, and this is a KTM 525 sidecar outfit. Basic difference with this machine and ordinary motocrosser, we've got 3 wheels instead of 2 wheels, with an extra radiator, with a lanyard kill switch on the bike, extended swing arm, so it is 125cc engine, so it is extended front forks on the bike, and that is this KTM.
North Somerset Star Radio, you're listening to Ange in the afternoon on the weekend that is the big Weston beach race. Very excited this weekend. Not quite as excited though as Jacqueline Osborne from Weston Supermare was this morning. She's blagged herself 4 VIP tickets for the whole weekend. That means that basically she gets to VIP it up in the hospitality suite, get free breakfast, lunch, tea and all the best views of all the races as well. So big congratulations to her. Roger from the World Tour North Somerset is going to be down there as well, broadcasting live on Saturday morning, giving you his best impressions of the motorbike beach races and all the latest gossip and that coming up for you as well. Stay tuned to North Somerset Star Radio right through the weekend. We'll keep you updated with all the information. The Killers on the way next here at Star Radio. I mean, it's great for the town to have the beach race here. Massive calling from the town as well. People, we've been running a competition this week to win VIP beach race passes, so they get access sort of all areas and VIP treatment for the day. And we've been inundated with calls from people in Weston wanting to go down, had them sort of having a motorbike virtual beach race, making some very interesting noises in the morning, children and adults and all sorts. But certainly it's something I think the town needs and something the town enjoys. Certainly, I mean, this weekend is kind of the end of the big summer season, and it is a big boost, especially at the moment with the economy the way it is, to have a lot of people in the town. You know, it's great for the bars, the nightclubs in town, restaurants, you know, the shops as well, and just the coverage that we get, you know, on the television and, like I say, radio and stuff. Just people, that awareness and coming in, spending the cash, the hotels booked out, you know, can't get a room and stuff. It means a lot for, you know, for the local businesses here in Somerset. So Western Beach Race, I mean, it's brilliant, it's fast, it's furious, exhilarating. You know, if you love that sort of stuff, this is the kind of weekend to be in Western Supermare.
Front, please. Thank you. One card. Thank you.
$762, winning number.
Well, I want the lottery numbers, that's what I
right, yeah.
It'd be useful, wouldn't it?
Thank you. Thank you.
The bikes are checked to see if they conform, i.e. the throttle control has to be checked, the brakes have to be checked, the wheel bearings, etc, etc. And there's a noise test carried out on some of them, and on all quads the throttle, the cutouts have to be checked the same with the sidecars as well. The reason they have to go through scrutiny is to make sure they conform and they're safe to run, because you can imagine you get X number of bikes out there, you need to go check them over. And basically after they've been through scrutiny and they go into the park firm, which then means they can't touch them until they pick them up on whenever they're going to ride them.
Yeah, hi, my name's Chris Murphy. I'm doing the noise testing and scrutineering at Western Beach Race 2010. This is the noise meter that we use, various settings on there, with the noise sensor at the top. Basically we have the engine of the motorcycle or the quad running on this. When that little stick vibrates, we know we've got to the right revs for the CC of the machine, and then this records the noise, and we don't want to see this going above 96 decibels. If it's above 96, we have to fail it, and the competitor needs to repack their exhaust or buy a new insert. This is the bike that we picked out in scrutineering that we believe is going to be too noisy, so we're going to do a proper test on the bike now, and I'll demonstrate how we do that. We set this half a metre away from the exhaust, and we're looking for this to be under 96 decibels. As you can see, it's already on 96.3 before we rev it. However, with this thing, we'll rev this until we get a wobble. So as you can see, that's way over the top. So this gentleman will have to do some repairs to get through technical control today.
Well, the Western Beach Race really is getting celebrity status. I'm joined by Elvis and Slash. Elvis, what are you thinking of the weekend?
Oh, honey, this is the most fantastic weekend of my life.
"2,000 riders take part over the weekend. All have to be issued photo IDs and passes for themselves and for their team members. All passes are issued and machines scrutinised on the Friday prior to the event. The administration for this event runs on a mammoth scale. Okay, right, we're here with Ramel Scanterbury. So, Ramel, you're probably the furthest travelled rider here. Just tell us exactly where you've come from.
Barbados.
And how long did it take to get over here?
8 hours and 4 hours driving to the Supermare.
Is this the first time you've come to Weston for the race?
Yes, first time here.
And how did you find about it?
Very cold.
But how did you hear about the race? What made you
Because
actually
my friend Jade here, he comes to Barbados pretty often, and he introduced me to the race.
And do you ride back home in Barbados?
Yeah, back home I do a little bit of riding.
And what, motocross or enduro?
Motocross, supermotor.
So a bit of an all-rounder, really.
Yeah.
Now, what is it about beach racing now? What's the attraction for this event?
It's on the sand. We love the beach.
And hopefully we'll have a bit of better weather tomorrow as
Hopefully,
well.
I hope that.
And also, is this your own bike? Have you borrowed
This is my own bike, yeah.
So you've had this
I
shipped
bought this
over?
bike. I came over, bought a bike, and I'm in for the race.
Great stuff. Now, I did see you having a bit of trouble earlier as well, so just tell us what...
Yeah, because it was my first time starting it since I got here from the journey over here to the Supermare. So it gave me a bit of trouble to start. Now it's starting, it's all ready for tomorrow.
Okay. And also a bit of trouble with the noise as well.
Yes, I had to change the whole muffler because they say I'm 2 RP over, so I had to change my whole muffler.
But you're all sorted and
I'm
safe
all
now.
sorted and all set now.
Well, great stuff, and we wish you all the best tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Enjoy your day.
Once the machines are scrutinised, they are placed in the parc ferme where they must be left till race day, so that the riders cannot make any unfair alterations to the machines. Over £3.75 million worth of bikes are lined up here.
He did it for the first time last year,
right?
And we booked in about 3 weeks after it finished last year. He's that keen.
Action starts even on the Friday prior to the event with the introduction of the Polaris side-by-side buggy racing. Right, we're here with Paul Rowland. Paul Rowland, you've had a really successful year this year with your team, but now we're going to see you back in action.
Yeah, we've had a real good year with the boys. They've worked really hard, but yeah, we're here for a bit of fun today.
And how did you get into this, into the Polaris?
Basically, I've always been a quad rider. I had an accident here 5 years ago, paralysed myself, and basically just you know, four wheels a bit of fun, and I think that maybe in a few years it'll be a big sport.
Well, I know you're saying a bit of fun, but I know you're a very competitive person, so I think we're going to see you going for it, are we?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Look out for the four wheels off the
Great stuff, we look forward to it.
Yeah.
Actually, while we're actually here, who's the brave man in the passenger seat?
This is Luke Hawkins' his dad.
And you feeling pretty confident out there with him?
Yeah, very confident. Professional driver.
Now with Nick Fisk, legendary Western beach race commentator. Nick, how on earth have you got collared into this?
I don't know. I'm going to kill Tony Nash in a minute. He just said he walked into the commentary booth and handed me a helmet. Now, first off, we have a disclaimer, and I've just signed a disclaimer. The man tells me there's no ambulance around, and I look around and everybody else is wearing full motocross gear. I've got on my old 9-year-old Adidas trainers, a pair of moth-eaten Marks and Spencer's jeans, and that's it. And I said to the guy, on a scale of 1 to 10, how waterproof are these? And he said, they're not. You're going to get wet.
But,
so really, I'm fine.
Yeah, and who's driving with you?
This is Andy Shepherd, isn't it? Yeah, and you're from?
Adrenaline ATV.
Adrenaline ATV, got to get the plug in there.
Yeah,
so.
no problem. And you're going to be going for the win?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Great stuff. We'll be watching.
#1 co-pilot.
Oh
That's
yeah.
it, yeah.
And he also told me, he said, by the way, he said, this is the 50-inch version. I said, what does that mean? He said, it's 10 inches less wide than the others. So I said, does that mean it's less stable? He said, yeah, that's right. And I said, what's this thing in front of me? He said, that's the Jesus handle. I said, what's that? He said, hold on to that. I said, what, you hold on and say Jesus?
Well, as Friday afternoon draws to a close and the last few machines are scrutineered, the atmosphere relaxes as the riders start to look forward to the weekend's event. Well, as Saturday morning dawns with beautiful weather conditions, we caught up with a few of our competitors in our youth quad race. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
And is it your first time you've done Weston?
No, I've done it for 2 years now.
And how did you get into doing the quad racing?
When I was 3, I had a 50cc, and since then I've just always had quads, so that's
and
it.
we saw you recently at an enduro event, so you out there racing most weekends?
No, not really. I only do Wild Forest, and then a few others that I can do, and that's it really.
And what about like the dunes here? I mean, there's some pretty big dunes out there. I mean, I don't think I'd even fancy doing it again now.
It is horrible going up to them, but I don't know, once you've gone over a few, you're alright, you get going, it's alright.
You're riding for a special cause this weekend?
Yeah, breast cancer.
And what class are you riding in?
I'm in the youth quads.
And have you ridden a Western Beach race before?
Yeah, I rode for the last 2 years, but haven't finished yet, so hopefully this year.
You're going for the finish?
Yeah.
And how much are you looking to raise?
Well, I'm hoping to raise as much as possible. At first I wanted 1,000, but now I've got twice that much, so I'm just hoping for a lot more now.
So well done. So, well, we wish you all the best tomorrow and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff. So we now go and join our riders just outside the Parc Fermé, patiently waiting to get the machines, get down to the line, get a good spot on the start. Being told to wait, and then there'll be the mad dash into the Parc Fermé. The machines are scrutineered, and then the riders cannot get to the machines until race day. Here they go, the mad dash. And Tamara Reid, one rider just going down there, and then they'll all start the machines into life, ride them down onto the beach, get a spot on the line. There they go. Over 100 riders taking part in the youth quad race, so a real good entry. We're really starting to see a real good, strong growth in this class in the British off-road scene. Well, there they go, down onto the start straight area, right up the hill behind a lot of metal gates, and then the gates are pulled open and away they go. So here they come down towards us, the start of the quad race. Let's wait to see who we're going to have leading the charge down to get the all-important hole shot. Blasting down towards us. You can see the spray being thrown up into the air. So here they come, down towards the first turn. It's going to be Jake Veach leading the charge. Luke Cooper there, Connor Smith, Christian Morris into the first turn. And safely going through there. Head off towards the dunes. And that's where the carnage usually begins here at Weston Supermare. Field is streaming through now, as I say, over 100 riders. Well, here we go into the dunes. It's the number 56 machine, Connor Barkley, leading the charge in there. Then the number 72 machine just going through Sam Bailey. As we get back on the start straight, 77, Alicia Crane just coming through. And then the number 42 machine, Ryan Clean's going through there. And already a few riders getting stuck on some of the dunes, number 89 being one of them. Got 121 there, and Danny Lloyd there. Now right next to the 72 machine of Sam Bailey. Really getting bogged down on the first of the big dunes. Number 11 just going through that, no problem at all for him. Just coasting to the top there. That's Harry Trimble. And 72, Bailey. Needing all sorts of help there as number 62 just grinding to a halt right next to him. That's Jack Griffiths, number 46 as well, joining the melee, right up on the top of the dune there. Ryan McLeish, I think that's number 9 there as well. Bailey Edwards coming to a halt, and you can see all sorts of trouble starting to form now on the first of the big dunes. 82 as well, Jamie John Morgan. Well, number 10 just flying through up there. And Stafford Davis, 658 as well. Jack Veach, now he was the guy who took the whole shot. So he's got held up somewhere, but at least he's over the first of the big tunes now. As we rejoin our race leaders now down into the first turn at the end of the long straight, at the end of lap 1. It's the number 56 machine now, Connor Smith, your new race leader. At the start of lap 2, 105 just going through there in second place, Luke Cooper. Then the 121 machine and Charlie Robinson going through in third. Hard on the gas, kicking up the spray and the sand there. Shoes just gone through in fourth. And here's the number 7 machine just going through, Brad Frost. Meanwhile, back at the dunes, the carnage still continuing. The number 65 machine of Macaulay Maguire. So the rest of the leading field now stretching out onto the start straight. That's the number 1 machine just going through, Harry Miller. 38 just going through there as well. Great shot there, Liam Glover. Then the number 10 machine, where we've seen him get flying over the dunes, that's Daffy Davis. And the first of our young ladies out there, we spoke to her earlier. It's Sophie Bosworth. Looking very stylish. She powers her way around the first turn. He's quite getting some good air there. I think that was too sure that's going through there. It's 231 just going through, Sam Payne. And there's number 85, Tamara Reid, riding for the breast cancer charity. 72 just going through there. He's finally extracted himself from the dunes, Sam Bailey. Sam Bailey is trying to make up for lost time, really on the charge as he went through. Riders just getting a little of a helping hand to get them down on the other side of the dune. Great shots there of our riders powering their way down the long start straight area. At the end of each lap, they'll have to power their way down here, back down. That's number 33 just going through. A young lady competitor, Sophie Bosworth. We've got there number 49 just going through. That's Thomas Dowes. There's 72 Bailey. As I say, he was stuck on the dunes, but he's really making up for lost time now. Really hard on the gas as he goes through. That's number 56 just going through there as well. That's Connor Smith. Sophie Bosworth just going through. And number 86 really sliding it around there. That's the machine. I have to apologise, I haven't got him on my paperwork there as he went through. Number 45 though, we'll pick up with him. That's Jack Wayman heading through the water splash. Bailey, number 72 though, forcing his way up the field. I'm reckoning he's up to about 5th position at the moment. Looks like 21 just going through. That's Jake Hammond. Then a number 63 machine just going through there. That's Andy Britton. 105 though, Luke Cooper in 3rd place. Luke was 2nd into the first turn, just got held up on the dunes, down in about 3rd place at the moment. 62 just going through there as well, Jack Griffiths. Then the 231 machine just going through Sam Payne. That's the man there, number 11, Harry Trimble, your race leader. Bailey just going through, number 22 there, just getting a bit of assistance there when he's had machine problems. And that will be Luke Schroeder. But Trimble it is, your race leader, making it look very easy at the moment, powering his way around. The number 85 machine just going through, Tamara Radford. Well, that was the order there as they crossed the line. It was the number 11 machine of Harry Trimble taking the win. 2nd went to number 51, Billy Langford. 3rd went to the 105 machine of Luke Cooper, and that was your order for the Y3 quad class. In the Y2 class, it was the number 10 machine of David Davis taking the win from the 177 machine of Jordan Hickman, and in 3rd place, 48, Elliot Dowes. In the youth Y1 class, it was 88, Kieran Taylor taking the win. 2nd went to number 90, Luke Gunning, and 3rd went to number 12, Reese Brown. So here we go then, the 65cc class, blasting down. He starts straight towards the first turn. Well, it was Conrad Muse leading the charge down through the first dunes. And the rest of the field streamed down towards us. We now pick up with number 22, Matthew Riches, through the whoop section. You can see just behind him a few of the other riders, a lot of water collecting in those whoops. But Matthew Riches, no problem at all as he comes out one of the first of the big dunes. Then we get number 9, Jake Dormer, coming through. Going to need a bit of help and assistance. Just getting him to the top of the dune there, having to walk back up to the top of his machine. And the number 4 machine, Sam Williams, no problem at all. Absolutely flying to the top there. A couple of riders needing some assistance down on the bottom part. Well, John Joe Wright coming through, number 15, had a cracking race. Worked his way up into 3rd place. Then Charlie Arthur-Smith coming through, number 32. Pointing himself back off in the right direction there at the first turn area. Joshua Crook just come to a halt there, having some assistance to number 2 machine. Having it fired back into life. Over the dune he goes. Good crowd here on a Saturday morning. Beautiful weather conditions for the first race on our card this weekend. Number 7, Daniel Gibbons coming through. Going on the wide line, just having a bit of a paddle there as he goes through. Blasting his way down the start straight. Some great shots, glorious weather on a Saturday morning. Very typical of the weather conditions we had last year. John Joe Wright though, 3rd place, number 15 coming down. End of the start straight. Number 10, Joshua Keeble, powering his way down there. David Keat, 2nd place, number 55. Then the 51 machine, Todd Ritchie there, just having a bit of assistance on the top of the dune. Marshall's doing a fantastic job keeping our young rival 23 Bradley Sullivan coming to a bit of an abrupt stop there. Certainly got a fair amount of momentum coming up the climb of that dry dune. And one rider just being helped off the side of the circuit there. He's got machine problems as we pick up with 35 Daniel Knight. Through the dunes, then 51 Todd Ritchie coming through. Right on the gas as he exits the first turn, 14 Ben Coleman. Blasting his way around. And then we get number 81, Tom Clark. Really carrying a lot of speed, these 65cc machines. And 34 Jake Ford coming through. Just a bit of halt on the top of the first man. Marshall there ready to help him up now. As we pick up 151, Albie Wilkie coming through. And you can see an extra barrier being put down on the side, the wind blowing the tide up onto the beach before the start of this race. So they did move the start straight over a little bit. And of course these junior riders also, 32, just getting a lift back to the paddock there. Some great shots. These 65cc machines really are getting some power down that straight. 33 Jordan Wright just powering his way around that first turn. Good experience for these young riders. 24 Bradley Lilburn. And some very smartly dressed marshals on top of that hill, all top hat and tails. As we pick up with Ben Secker, number 26. Getting into the Western spirit of things. Sticking a novelty wig on top of his helmet. Might have just cross-rutted as he comes across the dune there. 21 Harry Linton coming down. And you can see even these 65s getting a bit of a shake on as they come down there, hitting some of the wet sand. It does catch your front wheel quite a bit. 41 Samuel Breeze though. And you can see some quite big puddle pools on the track. And that can make it quite difficult for some of these smaller machines. And they're unwittingly catch the front wheel of these machines. And number 11, Conrad Muse, though, your race leader, making it look very easy and carrying an incredible amount of speed, looking very, very comfortable and stylish as he powers his way around the first turn. Great shots we're getting here. Even the spectators enjoying themselves here. 57, Jack Baldwin coming through. 26 Ben Secker once again. It's going to be a bit of assistance to get him over the top of the dune there. Number 6 Carl Budge powering his way down. 31 Lysander Bigwood up to the top of one of the big dunes. Absolutely screaming the life out of that little machine. No problem at all though. No assistance for him. 74 Troy Willerton. Also, nearly very close to the very top there. Just getting a little bit of assistance, getting him over the very top. Matthew Riches going through the whoop section again. Up over the big dune. No problem at all for him. 20, Matthew Clark, also getting into the Western spirit with his novelty wig glued to the top of his helmet. And his way around, that's into the second turn area there. Remember that machine stepping out there as he was hitting the pools there. Number 7, Daniel Gibbons coming through. Picking his lines, very, very careful. As I say, these machines, the first one's out on the track on Saturday morning. So you can see that there's not quite very soft sand there that they're going to pick their way through. No lines really developing yet for these guys. 36, Rusty Peebles. Getting down to the end of the start straight. It's a great crowd enjoying the sunshine here on Saturday morning for the first race of the 2009 Western Beach Race. And Justin Barkley doing a fantastic job on the circuit this year. A lot of the jumps quite hard packed down, so you can see not getting dug out as much as we used to see. As once again we get 26 Ben Secker, so Ben Secker certainly putting in quite a few laps. Certainly picking him out with his novelty wig. Taking the wide line. 56 Declan Ronan coming through. Here we have 29 Luke Glassbrook. Goes right gingerly, right, a bit of a bubble there as he went around. Going back round to the outside line. One out of these guys out there for 82 Jake Simmons out there. Powering his way down. Oh, the rider just getting stuck. These ruts do start to dig out quite a bit. And some great shots. These little 65ccs. There's 21 Harry Linton. Just into the first turn here. Really are absolutely flipping head down. Powering away down that start straight. John Joe Wright, our third place rider, number 15 coming through. No problem at all for him. Then 23, Bradley Sullivan. Going around the outside line. Number 12, Henry Siduk. Just powering through there. There's 18, Jake Deacon. We are getting absolutely fantastic shots as Jake Deacon there powering down towards us. Really is crouching down over that tank. Oh, Mitchell Warhurst there. Just coming to a bit of grief there. Number 1 machine safely back up. A bit of assistance. Get his machine fired back into life. Back underway. Let's look at some of these young riders. They really have been picking up tips from the adults. Really crouching low. Get the wind resistance down. Well, Mitchell Warhurst back underway. So the riders getting some vocal encouragement. We pick up with John Joe Wright, our third place rider. Now his way around. You can see some of the riders, I think. Wise move there on that corner, going quite wide, trying to miss that deep water on the inside as we pick up number 2, Joshua Cook. Absolutely powering up that dune there. Is he going to make it to the very top? 14, Ben Coleman going through. And 11 on the back of his body armour. We pick up with David Keat, second place. Look at him, number 55, absolutely flying through there. Both feet off the pegs as he went through. Absolutely barnstorming round. David Keat, one rider, 101. And Gary Ashley just going down. He's safely back up, just having the marshal help him get his machine back down onto the level ground down at the bottom, and 5 back into life. 35 though, Daniel Knight. Just powering his way through. Daniel Knight up into 4th place. Rusty Peebles, number 36 there. Just powering his way down, no problem at all for him. Because once again we get a shot at Ben Secker. And I say you certainly want to get noticed on camera, get yourself a novelty wig. Certainly get some good shots of him as he's just gone through. Certainly putting in the laps. Number 2, Joshua Crook, also picking up. Powering down towards us along the side of the Tropicana. That's just past the mechanics area. Well, Gary Ashley, 101. Good to see back underway. His diminutive size certainly not putting him off. He's back underway. Conrad Muse, your race leader, powering his way through. Still being chased by the number 55 machine of David Keat, and David Keat looking very impressive in 2nd place at the moment after chasing after Conrad Muse. As we pick up number 5, Aaron Flynn coming through. And so you imagine the size of these machines could be very daunting to some of these riders, but they really do attack it with great gusto. There's one of our young ladies out there, number 16, Lucy Calvert. And there's your 2nd place man, Keat, still chasing after Muse as we pick up with 38, Dean Edwards going through. Ooh, and one rider Bit of a spill there. Not too sure who that is. Just to the other side of the dune. It's good to see him back up on his feet. Just want to give himself a bit of a wind in there, just taking his tail off. As we pick up with 41, Samuel Breeze. 36, Rusty Peebles going through to the end bottom of the start straight. Getting quite a few shots of him, so he's certainly circulating well. Riders taking a shortened circuit round there. That's the adult dunes there. They're just missing out. They're cutting between them. Obviously, these tiny machines wouldn't be fair to send them up the full circuit that the adults have to do. Conrad Muse out very, very stylish as he powered his way through there. Your race leader still being chased by this man here, number 55, David Keat, in second place. Next rider we've got coming through there, 151, Albie Wilkie. In 29, Luke Scarsbrook. And 99, Thomas Sorrell coming through there. Still quite a lot of water hanging around on the top of the surface as we're coming towards the closing stages of this one. Now, 26, Ben Secker going through. Daniel Knight, 35. And then David Keat, second place, still powering around, trying everything he can to close down on Conrad Muse, but Conrad Muse really has had it sewn up right from the start in this one. 51, Todd Richard just going through. He's picking his way through some traffic. 74, Troy Willerton going through there as well. But Conrad Muse, number 11, your race leader, just going through. And there's David Keat, second place, being cheered on. But the checkered flag will go out for Conrad Muse, your race winner. David Keat will finish second, and John Joe Wright taking third. Our youth riders setting the pace for the day there, but now we turn our attentions to the main event, the sidecar and quad event. We caught up with some of our riders prior to the race. What's it like going down to the start? What's the atmosphere like?
Very frightening. With all those bikes, the number of bikes, it is real, you know, the adrenaline digs in, and it's, you know, it's very difficult to sort of tell anybody what you're really experiencing. But down that start straight's the worst, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
getting down to the first corner.
And also on the dunes as well, it must be pretty intimidating. Everyone's trying to get over the dunes and traffic jams. I mean, what's it like in there with all the fumes as well?
Yeah, you got to, if you can get down the first corner, somewhere near the front, it's not too bad. You can get, you know, moving, but you lose a lot of time in the first corner. After that, then it's just a momentum to keep you driving in.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, like I say, being the previous winner 4 times before. Obviously, the weather conditions at the moment, it's going to be really, really wet. But no, like I say, looking good. Some stiff competition out there. Weston is a challenge. It's a lottery as well. Like I say, you've just got to think ahead, plan your lines, and go for it. But yeah, it should be good fun.
The problem is you've just got to really, really think ahead. You can't just come piling up to these traffic jams and think that you're going to get through, because you're not, because there's, you know, a quad's quite wide and there's not always space in the gaps that you think there is. So you've really got to look ahead and, you know, try not get in a little bundle where a lot of people are turning the engines off and stopping, and then you're going nowhere.
So here we go then, our main event on Saturday, the adult quad and sidecar race. 500 competitors waiting at the Parc Fermé. The gates will be opening in a mad dash to get the machines, get a good spot on the beach, and away they go. Almost like a race in itself, and a couple of riders have gone down now, I think, in the mad rush there to get into the Parc Fermé. Get the machines, get into the line. WINROW down there on the outside. We've got 500 sidecars and quads out in this one. And this will give you some idea what you're going to be watching later on when we get to the main event. Over 1,000 riders in a solo race on Sunday as they work their way down onto the beach. Beautiful weather conditions here on a Saturday. The circuit in absolutely pristine condition. That's behind the gates down on the start area. 500 machines. The adrenaline starting to pump now. Those gates will be opened and away they'll go. streaming out, and away they go. The gates are open, and already looks like we've got one machine flipping right outside the gate there. So away they go, streaming down towards the first turn. And a massive crash there, and one of the quad machines absolutely rolling and cartwheeling down the straight there. Not too sure what happened there, but several machines being thrown into the air. Well, we're down on the start straight, and a few of the machines slowing there. And you can see, looks like 10 machines there on the front of the pack, streaming down, oblivious to what's been going on behind them, down towards the first turn. And it looks like we've got several riders taking quite a knock there, but down into the first turn, it's Carl Bunce taking a whole shot. Not far behind him, Stefan Mercy, Jason Macbeth, David Baldwin and Paul Winrow leading the charge around the first turn. And let's have a look at that crash again. You can see the machines being thrown into the air. And as I say, 500 riders there, not much room. Steve Atkins going through there. And then the number 5 machine of Carl Bruce. Carl Bunce going through, the rest of the pack streaming behind him. Then Oscar Romero, number 38. Powering his way down through towards the whoop section. David Baldwin coming through as well, number 6. Good start for him in the top 5, and Paul Winrow absolutely barnstorming through the whoop section there. Steve Atkins though leading them down. Carl Bunce, number 5, chasing hard on this opening lap down through the big machine dunes, and I'm going to say the leading riders getting through quite comfortable at the start. Oh, Carl Bunce, literally as I say that, coming to grief there, and Macbeth going around the outside, and Atkins going around the outside, and Macbeth getting held up there. So Jason Macbeth getting into all sorts of problems, and that has given the lead there to Steve Atkins. So Steve Atkins looking over his shoulder and can't believe his luck there, because Bunce and Macbeth both getting held up. And you can see just out of our shot there, the riders getting into all sorts of problems there. And Atkins has absolutely powered his way through there and starting to put quite a bit of ground between himself and the rest of the pack. So Steve Atkins on the number 4 machine, your new race leader, as I head up now towards the Red Bull Arch and up towards the prom. Leaving behind him Stefan Murphy, Jason Macbeth and Baldwin and Bunce. All sorts of problems. It looks like they're all away there. Macbeth getting away as well in about 3rd position now. Just who was behind there at the time. Mike Rogers coming through there, number 349. As the rest of the pack starts streaming through over the dunes. Number 19 just getting held up there, and that's Simon Walton. Just collecting number 29 machine there as well, just grinding to a halt. Ken Murphy. That's Stefan Murphy just powering his way through. A shot there of number 23, Anthony Smith. It looked quite easy there on the opening laps. Finding the way through. And a 2-man team, McCanny and McCanny, just who got out there, number 37. A few of the riders, first class sidecars going through there as well. The number 130 outfit. Still quite a lot of water in the late stages this afternoon, lying on parts of the circuit. As the number 91 machine just extracted himself, Stefan Ennett. 402 there as well, just collecting a few of the riders alongside him. And of course, we had a few riders giving a bit of bumping and shoving there. And you can see now as the rest of the pack start to stream through, quite a few casualties on the dunes there, and that rhythm section, so you'd call it a rhythm section, is really starting to collect quite a few machines as we get the sidecar crew coming through. Neville and Neville, 6th position going through. And the Marshall's getting down there as well. Quite a few machines trying to rock their way through that section over there. Number 19, who we saw ground to a halt earlier, back underway, Simon Walton. As the rest of the field down out some main front parts of the VIP hospitality suite. So it looks like all the majority of the crews coming through now. 151. Frankham going through there in the sidecar outfit. And a couple of sidecars starting to get bogged down there. Just can't make out the number who we got there. So Iverson back underway, and one rider buried right over his axles there. Another one signalling for some help there. Craig McCormick in the 4x4s. 404 going through, 5th position for him. So number 91 also going through, Mark French. To 68th position there as he goes through in a big pool of water there. Very lucky that didn't bring his machine to a halt. Gets a good drive around the outside. Some of the sidecar crews, 132. Hegarty and Hegarty back underway. So the sidecars come down usually through a bit further down the field. These narrower wheels do tend to dig in, give them a bit of trouble over on the dunes, and very similar for the solos, as you'll be seeing later. Some of the drops on some of these dunes, you don't want to crest them too quickly because they do drop away very, very quickly. I feel just getting a bit of lifting out of the ruts there in the opening corner. Steve Atkins going through there, down into 2nd place now. Macbeth has taken the lead. There's Frankham in the sidecars, 151 going through, down towards that whoop section. Quite making it look very easy. A few riders certainly keeping the marshals busy down there in that rhythm section or section of whoops. Quads are bouncing their way through. Chandler and Clark, the sidecars, 107 going through. And Paul Winrow, well, Winrow was round the first turn in the top 6 there, but he had another machine flip and hit him in the back, so he's making up for lost time at the moment, giving him a right clout in the back, and he's really on the charge at the moment, trying to make his way up through the field. There's Eddie Redfern, number 339. No problem at all as he heads up towards the main prom. Some great shots there. Beautiful weather on the Saturday for the opening day of the Weston machine beach. Oh, and Stefan Murphy, very quick thinking there. One machine coming to grief, just swapping his lines, hitting them hard on the brakes and picking his way through. Well, we spoke to Stefan Murphy earlier and he said you really have got to think ahead, and you can see perfect example there. Look at some of these water splashes. John Morgan in the 4x4 class, number 400. Leading that class as well at the moment, I think. So John Morgan in the quad 4x4, making it look very, very easy. Plowing his way through the water, and very deep water sections they are there as well. The line between those sections. As once again we come to one of the dunes, certainly keeping the marshals busy, working their way down there. It's one of our sidecar outfits. Machine problems, and another quad guy. That's what I wanted to say, and it just gives you an idea how steep some of these dunes are. There's a drop away from there. There's Paul Winrow, 120, number 1 coming through. One of our sidecar eyes just flipping the machine. Looks like he's safely back underway. That's number 146 going down there, and they're back underway. Well, that's Hyde and Parmenter, and they're sitting in 5th position as well at them. So lucky to get going away so early. Well, Moore being forced it riding in the sidecar team. Steve Atkins though going through there, 2nd place at the moment, chasing hard after Macbeth. He was your earlier race leader after Macbeth came to a grinding halt in the rhythm section. So Atkins looking round, looking to see if he's can keep Macbeth in his sight. And Murphy behind him as well at the moment. Not sure where Bunce has gone. There's Winrow coming through. Well, Winrow is chasing hard. He's trying to make up ground at the moment. So we've had a quad flip and hit him in the back. It's costing quite a bit of time, so Winrow really hard on the charge at the moment. There's Carl Bruce Just going through. Well, he was one of our earlier leaders, and he's dropped down the field considerably at the moment. And there's one guy getting into all sorts of trouble there. John Morgan, leader of the 4x4 class, coming through. And he really is making it look very, very easy. Some great shots we're getting off our crane camera there, just showing them when it drops off one of the dunes there. Well, there's Hyde and Pominter coming through once again, still in 5th place in the sidecar class. In the wide line, trying to keep out of trouble. There's Place and Beaver, 38th in the sidecar class. And the passengers really, sidecar passengers have got to be pretty fit anyway, but for 3 hours out there in this one guy just grinding to a halt there, and everybody trying their best to avoid clipping him. That guy there in all sorts of problems. I'm not too sure if he knows exactly what he's going to do as well to get out of it. There's the marshals there, just directing the traffic. That's one of our sidecar outfits, number 130. Just working down. As you can see, the circuit getting very, very rough now. As we're coming towards the halfway stage, a few of the machines coming in now for refuelling. A bit of maintenance work. A few of the riders grabbing some refreshments themselves as well. They're going to be blasting back out there. Careful not to clip anybody in there. Look at the sidecar passengers there. Going back to what I was saying about our passengers in the sidecar outfits. They really do have to throw themselves around these machines. Refueling down in the paddock area. Down onto the start of the long straightaway, just over a mile this year here at Weston. Well, Stefan Murphy coming through, 3rd place in the quads, the number 10 machine. Picking his way through the traffic, no problem at all for him. And one very petrified looking marshal stuck in the middle there. Chris Murphy just going through. One rider just getting a bit of a hard nut there as he comes through. Well, that's that rhythm section that Macbeth got held up on earlier, but you can see it's certainly wearing down quite considerably now. There's Roberts and Cole coming through, 105 in the sidecar class, his position. And a few quad guys, 334, getting into all sorts of problems there. Going to have extract his machine from the very wet corner. That's Barry Sanders. Dave Thornton coming through 3rd in the 4x4s. And that's Jason Macbeth, number 83, your race leader, powering his way through. And one of the quad guys ground up to his axles. Getting a lift there, bounce the machine, get back underway. And Steve Atkins, 2nd in the quad class, chasing hard after Macbeth. And we've just seen Macbeth going through. Atkins trying everything he can to try and close that gap down. Murphy behind him in 3rd place. Barry Dennis, 75 going through, taking out one of the marshal's flags. Great shots we're getting this weekend of the Western Beach Race. It is an absolutely action-packed weekend. And beautiful weather conditions on a Saturday. Well, Anthony Smith, number 23, going through, 27th position in the quad class. And you can see just how much those dunes are starting to wear down, and the track building crew will certainly be busy all through the night rebuilding the circuit. We're ready for the main event tomorrow. David Baldwin coming through in 5th position, the number 6 machine, while David kept a pretty consistent. He came round the first turn in the top 5, and he stayed there all through the race, and just getting caught up with some traffic there. So Baldwin back underway. A good old pace as well. And I think the yellow flags are waving on nearly absolutely every obstacle here today, as Williams and McPhee, who sidecar leaders, the 103 machine, going through. just in front of the proms. There's John Morgan, leader of our 4x4 quads. The quad classes all split for separate awards. I'll give you the full rundown at the end. And rider just getting a little helping hand. Well, Llewellyn in the quad two-man team of Llewellyn and Llewellyn. 17th position, 225, also getting a bit of help to get up to the top. Well, Winrow still going round. He's losing, he's lost quite a lot of time. And great shots, and you can see the other quads just powering away down the straightaway in the background. Atkins still coming through there in second place, still chasing hard after Macbeth. Well, there's Chandler and Clark, second in the sidecar class. 107 outfit. And Beverly Barnes, our lady competitor, leading the ladies class, just going through. Going round at a very good pace as well, Beverly. As the rest of the riders, you can see that rhythm section really is getting a not to see if he's waving at the crowd there. Oh, he's fell off his sidecar, and then the passengers back on his feet, walking back towards it. Winrow going through. Well, Winrow has dropped a lot of places now. He's been informed. He lost his chain. Took 10 minutes to get his machine back on his machine. Steve Atkins going through. Plenty of shots of Atkins chasing after Macbeth. Murphy in third position. So no change on it in that area. Murphy just going through. Winrow still circulating. He's already stopped to put a new chain on his machine. Oh, he's having a terrible time. He's winning this event 4 times before. And he's also 10 times British quad champion. But having a disastrous outing here. On the early stages of the race, took a nasty clip from another quad machine which flipped and hit him in the back, and then lost his chain. It took him a further 10 minutes to replace. And still bravely battling on at the moment. There's the rest of the field streaming through. There's the riders coming through. Still a lot of standing water out there on the circuit, and just look at that fantastic shots there. The riders powering their way down the long straightaway. At the end of every lap, they go back out onto that long straightaway. One rider, Steve Faulkner, pinned under his machine. All the marshals and officials straight to him. Straight up and back onto his machine. No problem at all. Atkins coming through once again. Second, still looking for Macbeth. Murphy's behind him in third, and Murphy's trying to close down that gap considerably at the moment. He's really on a bit of a charge at the moment. And the marshals are being kept busy once again. Another quad bike stuck to its axles in one of the ruts. It looks like they're going to heave it out. Too sure who it is. Looks like 211 on that machine. We'll be safely underway. And another one of our sidecars. You can see this rear wheel just sinking down there. And the passenger keeping a good eye open, making sure he's not going to get clipped. Hutchins and Kendrew keeping the Western spirit alive, dressed as Batman and Robin. A lot of the riders do treat this as an end of season bash. Really have a great time out there. A lot of them wearing fancy dress outfits. Really do get into the spirit of the Western Beach Race. There's a great party atmosphere here all weekend. 112 just going through there, but that's Bunce going through. 6. Still circulating well. And coming towards the closing stages now. 45th position. 146 just going through there. And then Stefan Murphy in the quads. Third place man just going through. He's right through the dunes. No problem at all for him. We've seen him into no problems at all. Chasing after Atkins. John Morgan as well, leading the 4x4 class. Circulating, no problems at all. Well, Anthony Smith though, and all sorts of problems, getting a few some assistance from the marshal there. Looks like he's lost his visor there. Sidecar outfit's 127. No chance of getting up there at that time. Not carrying enough momentum over there. King's coming through once again. King's as well. He's kept out of trouble in this one. Hutchinson and Kendra in the sidecars. Batman and Robin up into 23rd position, circulating well. And the sidecar there needing a bit of assistance on the dune. One rider to change his lines very drastically. Just going through there. That's Paul Hannon and Anita Smart, who we spoke to as well. Third in the ladies class, just getting a bit of assistance. And Chandler and Clark second in the sidecar class, just going through. No problem at all for them. And Anita Smart back underway. And you can see the water just turning to porridge on certain parts of this circuit now. Certainly John Morgan on that 4x4 won't be having any problems with it. And you can see that rhythm section there really is absolutely battered down. Absolutely black sand there. There's the water churning away. Great shot there. The quad just churning away through there. But yeah, race leaders in the sidecar class, Williams and McPhee circulating there. We get some great shots down on the straightaway. You can see that even the riders down there cannot relax. You can see them fighting the front ends of the machine. And Stefan Murphy coming through. And a couple of outfits in all sorts of grief there. 127 being one of them. Looks like they're getting some assistance from the marshals though. So they'll be back underway. That's going to be Lawrence Spence and Gavin Ross. Well, Lawrence Spence, former Grand Prix rider. 143 just going through there as well. I haven't got my paperwork, so I won't give a mention to it. But there's your race leaders. David Williams and Graham McPhee. Some great shots there as the rest of the field picking their way through there. Steve Atkins still second in the quad class, coming through, chasing after Macbeth. Well, Macbeth, we haven't had any shots from Macbeth, so he's circulating in a rapid pace of knots, keeping out of the way as 112. Scott Ellesmere and Darren Harmon there, stuck on the dunes, getting some assistance from the marshals. Well, there's Harry and Parmenter, 46 going through, still 5th place, and you can see the roll-off system. As Paul Stewart comes through in the 4x4 class, number 432. Looks like he's got a cuddly donkey on the back of his quad. And you can see the height of some of these dunes from our crane camera there as he goes through. Steve Atkins coming through there once again. He's back down on the straightaway. Great shots we're getting this weekend. And a quad rider coming towards us, 22 just going through. 22 being Robert Hanks. And now we get a whole host of riders coming through. There's Darren Hutchman, 3rd in the sidecar class, on the 134 outfit, going through no problem at all. Morgan once again coming through, leader of the 4x4 class. Stefan Murphy still there in 3rd place. Atkins in 2nd place, being chased by Murphy. Atkins in turn chasing Macbeth. Macbeth now having led this race from about lap 3, I think, in this moment. As our race leaders in the sidecars just going through the 103 outfit of Williams and McPhee. Baldwin coming through, 5th position. coming to the very closing stages now of this mammoth 3-hour quad race. There's a few riders still out on the circuit getting some assistance, but here is Chris Brawson getting ready with the checkered flag. So the checkered flag will go out at 3 hours, and then obviously we'll calculate the results with the transponders on the computer system. So the overall results for our quad and sidecar class: in the quad 1 class, it was a win for the 83 machine of Jason Macbeth on 20 laps. Second went to number 4 Steve Atkins, and third went to the number 10 machine of Stefan Murphy. In the quad 2 class, the 2-man class, it was a win for Nick Selwyn and Ricky Tordoff. In the quad 3 ladies, it was Beverly Barnes taking the win, and the quad 4x4 John Morgan. And in the sidecars, it was the 103 outfit of David Williams and Graham McPhee. Saturday draws to a close, Flying Ryan entertains the crowds, and we join Abby Griffiths talking to Roger Harvey, winner of the second beach race in 1984.
In them days there was much more big queues, so you had to get through the queues pretty rapidly, you know, and then you could ride your own speed in the race on the straight, and bike was geared for about 110, 120 mile an hour, so you know that's the sort of speed you're looking at to do up the straight. And the first thing you come to, you turn the first corner and you've got a house in front of you, like a sheer house of sand. And you thought, oh, I've got to get... And probably only 6 of us got over it, you know. To be honest, you've got to... You can never say I'm going to come and win Weston, because there's so many influences. There is in any race, you know, I know that. But like Weston is... You've got like 1,000 other people out there in the race. And one of them can just turn across in front of you and knock you off. Whereas you've got 30 or 40 in a British Championship motocross race or a World Championship. So you can never say I'm going to come and win it, but you can have that mindset that, you know, it is possible, I can win this. Just good start. And the guys that are coming here, like, for example, Sean Simpson, Jamie Lewis, you know, they're coming here and their plan is to win this race. And they will make an effort tonight. They won't be out partying. They'll, you know, just go to bed pretty early, get some rest, be up. First thing they go up and have a look around the circuit, see what they've done, because they do some dozing overnight, you know. Yeah. They might put some bigger obstacles in that you've got to have a look at. And they'll be up there first thing in the morning, go and have a look at it. What other event can you go and race against a World Championship rider? You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it in cars. You can't do it anywhere. And here, the club guy gets the opportunity to do that. And yeah, he might get trampled on, he might get knocked out of the way of this and the other, but at least he can go away and say, oh, well, I raced against Sean Simpson, you know. Yeah.
The Western Beach Race brings a staggering £3 million into the economy for the weekend. The whole town comes alive and it's party time. Well, Sunday morning dawn, the day of the main event. Horrible weather conditions, a complete contrast to the weather we'd enjoyed on the Saturday. But we caught up with Paul Butler and the youth Suzuki team.
Right, we're here with some pretty seasoned veterans already in their formative years. How many times have you ridden the Western Beach Race now?
Once last year on a 65.
And what's the hardest part about it there?
Stamina, really. Yeah.
And moving to you, what do you reckon to it? What's the start like? It's got to be pretty hairy out there.
Yeah, it's quite good. The only scary bit is finding your bike in the parc ferme. But apart from that, yeah, it's really good fun.
Well, my dad's going to be in the pits pitboarding me if there's any different altercations. But it depends how the first lap goes, because you might get stuck in the dunes or you might go through cleanly, so you may be able to do an extra lap or may not be able to.
Right. Now going to move over to Gabriel. Gabriel, is this the first time you've done the race?
No, it's the 4th time I've done it.
And what do you like about the race the best?
It's just good fun. It's not like any other race of the year. It's just different.
I was going to say, we've watched you in the Masters all year as well. I mean, and you've been going great guns in that. But what do you find different about the start of this and the strategy?
It's just totally different. It's just loads more fun than a normal race. It's not like you'd have to take it really serious.
We're here with Paul Butler. Paul, big presence here this weekend.
Yeah, we've got 5 riders here, 3 youth, 2 adults. Dan Thornhill's going up into riding the 125 in the main race at 15, so it's a big day for him. And the rest of the team, they're looking forward to riding in the 85 class.
Well, the Western Beach Race is a big, unique event. What does it mean to the team with its presence?
We're just happy for the bikes to finish. And last year and the year before, we've put 5 bikes out and we've had 5 bikes back home. So we're really pleased with the performance of the bikes and also the effort the riders put in.
And what extra preparation probably has to be done with the machines?
We've not done a lot really. Just we've put some stockings over the rad cowls and we've just lowered the forks through. We've just done things to the foot pegs and the kickstart so you can get them back out, put some inner tubes over them, and that's basically it, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you have any team orders out there as well?
No, they just go and ride and enjoy themselves.
Well, great stuff, and we look forward to watching them out there.
Hopefully we'll do okay.
So here we are down at the Parc Ferme. The adrenaline rising, the riders wanting to rush through, they're being told to wait, they'll get the machines. The mad dash will begin to get the good spot down on the beach, down on the start, they get the all clear. Well, very different weather conditions on Sunday morning to the glorious weather we enjoyed on Saturday. You can see very overcast, a light drizzle falling at the moment, but that will turn to a heavy rain. Strong wind as well, blowing in off the Bristol Channel this morning. And the riders now making their way down to the beach. Over 200 riders in this big wheel, small wheel 85cc race, and away they go straight away into the action at the first turn. And look at the stormy sea behind them as the riders stream through. One rider just going down there in the first turn, he's safely up. But once again, that magnificent sight, these majestic starts to these beach races. 45 there on the opening June, just getting hampered there. That's Robbie Dowson, and the plumes of sand being thrown into the air. 71 there, Jack Hill just going through. 122 just being held up. That's Todd Kellett. Well, Matt Bayliss getting a good jump out the gate, the number 11 machine. The rest of the riders trying to get through the first June. One rider certainly in the spirit of the Western Supermare, with his comedy breasts and clown hat on. Sam Salt there, 103, just getting underway. Another rider. They were all trying to get around the side of that June. The marshals allowing them to on this occasion, obviously to keep the bottlenecks down. But Matt Bayliss absolutely romping away there. Fresh sand in front of him. The early race leader powering through that whoop section. 56, your next rider coming through around the side of that June, that's Connor Barkley. Like 164 just going down there as well, tried to follow him through. Oh, Harry Hinson up into 16th position, number 38 just coming through there. Then a number 7 machine as well, Adam Wells. The rest of the pack stream through over the far side, down the side of the prom on this opening lap. An hour out there, and you can see the spots of rain already starting to fall heavily onto our camera lens as they come over the bridge, bringing them over the top of the spectator tunnel. Looks like 42 there, just cresting the top Tom Crump. One rider just going down. And this will make riding conditions very, very difficult. Charlie Sutton there, the sand will get very, very heavy. Damp sand as well, could cut some real steep ruts there. 163 also stuck up on the top of that dune. One rider is going all the way back down. Josh Coleman, 162 going through, no problem for him. 32nd position. Weaving their way through the traffic. Just going down there, I'm not so sure who that was. And they're getting the cheer on there as they powered away. That's the other side of the spectator bridge. Number 17, Ashley Rudd there. Just getting back underway. And you can see quite a few stricken machines through that whoop section there. A lot of heavy water lying on the circuit, giving them a few machine problems. Marshall's doing a fantastic job there. There's George Clark coming through, number 22. Number 15 just going through there as well. That's John Joe Wright. Look like 313 just going through, powering his way, picking his way through some of the fallen traffic. I think that was 52 there. Ben Watling just going through 211. And a guy with a comedy breast and clown hat. Certainly enjoying his Weston experience. Back underway. Up into 48th position. Stefan Millward. 65 going through. And you can see those corners really starting to cut up now. The rain really is starting to come down quite heavily now. Also a strong wind whipping across the circuit. Jack Hill, 71, powering his way around. No problem at all for Jack. One rider taking the lower line across that dune there. And that's 177, I think, there, just being extracted from the mire. I haven't got my paperwork, so we'll have to remain unknown. We think it's 177. And a couple of riders also being helped off the side of the circuit there with his machine problems. As I say, very heavy pools of water and the rain certainly not helping at all there. And that looks like 777, Jacob Chambers. Just grinding to a halt there in the corner. Marshall running over, but he's back underway. And how these young riders are out there for very grueling conditions. There's number 31 just going through. That's Dan Craig. And one rider just grinding to a halt at the bottom of June. Callum Cooper just going through, and Jay Thomas have gone through as well there. Well, it's 128, Nathan Lobb that it is. 143rd position. Getting some assistance from the marshals. Right, fell into the bank there. As the rest of the pack stream through, 128 as well. Almost grinding to a halt. That rear wheel starting to sink down into the sand. Nathan Lobb. Jack Fry there. One rider just stood there in the puddle there. One of these machines just grind to a halt, but he just had enough. Oh, and a big couple of incidents down there. One rider holding his and another rider just going down as well. So that jump certainly catching a few riders out. That's 36 Piers, Patrick Jones. He's getting back up onto his machine. The marshal's doing an absolutely fantastic job here looking after our riders, our young youth riders. And the future stars of the motocross world. Number 1 just going through, Ben Howell. It looks like Piers Patrick Jones back underway. Up into 157th position. Number 15 just going through there as well. And that's John Joe Wright. But Matt Bayliss now. He's now up the front of the pack. Your race leader is 47, Brett Moore, just coming through. And Bayliss looking very, very comfortable. Absolutely barnstorming round. And you can see the water now. Conditions getting very, very difficult. Lewis Dowdeswell, number 54, getting stuck on the top of the dune there, getting some assistance over the top. Joe Thomas just going through there, kicking a bit of roost down. 58 just going through there as well. That'll be Luke Rudd. You can see the stormy sea behind down on the far side really being whipped in by strong winds. Completely contrasting the conditions we had yesterday. Absolutely beautiful conditions on the Saturday. Jordan Goodwin, earlier race leader for a brief time, now down into 3rd position, just going through the number 8 machine. Looks like number 19 just getting snagged up there. 19 will be Luke Craig. And And you can see the riders really cannot afford to relax anywhere. Look at the ruts there, just getting cross-rutted all the way down. They cannot relax or take their concentration off the circuit for a single moment. It becomes absolutely mentally exhausting. Number 5, Billy King there, just getting cross-rutted as well, going down. And you can see the roll-off system, and one rider just trailing behind him. So the goggles and roll-off systems working overtime, all the wet sand flying around, and you can see down that route out straightaway, ruts going in absolutely every direction, while Billy King still trying to fire that machine back into life. Back underway they go. James Ellis, number 24, in 128th position at the moment, but to kickstart his machine back into life. Looks like he's going to get some assistance. The riders really are getting exhausted now as we're coming towards the closing stages of this race, this youth race. In some very, very difficult conditions. The weather's certainly not helping at all. Ellis still trying to fire that machine back into life. And away he goes. Adam James, number 21. Going down now, so the 109 machine on the back of his shirt just going through. Working his way down there, that's George Ellis. 53 just going through there. That's Harrison Bell. 77, Connor Halligan. Working his way down to the bottom of the dunes. He's pulling over there to talk to one of his pit crew. 42 just going through. That's Tom Crump, we've seen him earlier. Also Ashley Wood as well, still circulating well. And the number 50 machine going through there, Charlie Sutton. 28, Ryan Horlow, he's just getting back underway. And you can see the pools of water that the machines are having to work their way through now. All the spectators sheltering under their umbrellas. The flag's absolutely blowing. Almost gale-like conditions. As I say, the marshals have done an absolutely fantastic job all weekend. 59 just going through there. That's Francois Boudoir. Number 4 just coming down over the spectator bridge. I haven't got him on my paperwork, so I have to remain anonymous. Oh, Chelsea Gowland there, just taking a bit of a tumble. As they come under the Red Bull Arch, work their way back towards the promenade, and a fantastic shot there, 139, Joseph Ray powering their way down. You can see the pools of water lying on that straightaway. Ben Watling just going through. And the circuit getting very, very whooped out. We now pick up the 104, William Turner, well down that straightaway, would have picked up some water in his machine, but Matt Bayliss, look at the line he was taking there, down the side, your race leader, absolutely storming through. 25 there as well, Dan Wood, having to kickstart his machine, so this circuit really starting to catch out these young riders. There's Georgia Johnson, one of our young ladies, in 81st position, number 46, where she's signalling for a bit of assistance there. That rider's getting very, very close to the camera. Great shots our crew are getting this weekend, bringing you all the action, the thrills and spills that make up the Weston Beach Race for the 27th running of this event. Now Jordan Goodwin, your 3rd place rider, is absolutely flying round like Matt Bailey, so almost making it look like a normal everyday motocross meeting. Very talented young riders. Goodwin just making a quick change of line there, avoiding the fallen rider. And look at Goodwin powering his way through as we pick up 125. George Welsh just getting assistance to help him restart his machine there in a precarious position on the other side of the dune. 67 Joe Russell, the rider getting some assistance. 164 there to pick his bike up, and these machines will really start to weigh heavy on these young riders now as they come to the closing stages. So 1 hour they're out there and very difficult conditions. This wet sand just wants to pull your machine down. They're fighting the machine constantly whilst out there. From the minute they get the start here, it's a constant battle all the way round. 65, Caden Bennett there getting some assistance to get his machine up over the top of the dune. And Bradley Hutchinson, number 18 as well, taking a bit of a tumble. Just checking he's okay. And Chris Pawson, our finisher and starter there, seemed to do a bit of a mad dash out of the way. There's 113, Carl Cook going through, and another rider. You can see they're getting so tired. Normally these ruts probably wouldn't bother them, as Jordan Goodwin powers his way around the outside looking for the smoother line. You only have to get stuck a couple of times and it just saps the strength out of you. Number 12 just working his way down towards us. That's Carl Lane. Bradley Hutchinson, number 18, not too sure whether he's going to carry on, walking off to the side of the circuit. But Matt Bayliss, your race leader, and looks like he's going to be going on to win this one. Nobody touching him slightly at the moment. Connor Halligan going through there, number 77. He's down in 104th position. Another rider taking a bit of a tumble there. But Matt Bayliss way out in front at the moment. Jake Millward in second place. Jordan Goodwin in third. Ben Howell in fourth. James Ellis, 24, just going through. Lewis Breyer stuck on the dunes once again. Sporting a nifty little Mohican on top of his helmet. Not too sure the number of the machine we got there. Looks like we're getting a bit of mechanical assistance. Ooh, one rider just going down there. That's 178, Danny Mount. Just trying to avoid him, getting a little cross-threaded, and the rider that went down was number 46 going down there. That's Georgia Johnson, a young lady that we saw earlier, 43 just going through as well, Tom Neal. And that's the number 300 machine, Charlie Hamlet. Brother of Gabriel Hamlet, racing later. But Matt Bayliss, barnstorming his way around, takes the checkered flag. So Matt Bayliss, your race winner in the big wheel class and taking the overall. Jake Millward will take second. Jordan Goodwin will take third. In the small wheel class, it was going to be a win for the number 44 machine, Corey Southwood. Second went to 73, Robert Davidson, and third went to number 43, Tom Neal. So here we come now, the 27th running of the Weston Supermare Beach Race. We spoke to some of our top riders and also a few of our riders out there riding for charity, because a staggering £2.3 million has been raised for charity during this event over the years.
In the Motocross race, obviously, because it's a 40-minute sprint, you do more so then, but with this one it's just like survival, so just getting out there and just staying on.
I just hope to finish, that's what I really hope, and maybe top 100.
No, it is pretty hard. You just, like I said, you just got to really concentrate on where you're going. You know, look for all the lines you can. You've got to try and keep out of water because you can't even see how deep it is.
Yeah.
And you go in some of the ruts. If you pick a bad rut, it's up to your handlebars and you're stuck.
You know, last year I'd done an hour and I come in, I just couldn't hold on, my legs were knackered. They kept telling me to keep going, so I did.
So we're just going to spice things up a bit, and I'm going to hand you the mic, sir, to introduce yourself.
I'm Graham Rowan.
Good luck tomorrow, top 3, sir, you've said it.
Lovely, thank you very much. To get your number after?
Oh, well, that's just way too cheeky. It's the Irish charm. Get out of here. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Last year we raised money for cancer research, and this year we're doing it for a charity which is called Promise Dreams, based in Wolverhampton. They help terminally ill kids, send them away on holidays and breaks and things like that. So we're raising money this year for that charity.
Yeah, I'm not phased. You know, I've done a lot of meetings over the years. I've been racing 30 years, so I'm not phased by it. But you know, you've got to be a bit apprehensive and take it as it comes. It's going to be pretty hairy. Pretty hairy.
To say the least.
Yeah. But obviously we said, you know, if we're going to do it, we'll do it for something worthwhile. And hence we said right, we'll do it for Acorns Children's Hospice.
Yeah.
And we've raised in excess of about £600 at the moment. So obviously, you know, that's still going up, and we've just still got the sheets to get in.
Obviously down a straight, the visibility is not as good, and your goggles really need to be set up, I think. And it's just the case of saving the bike, saving your goggles, and you've only got one set of eyes. I'm coming here to win, to get top 3. Obviously a bit nervous. I don't think I've been this nervous for ages. The racing and the MX and everything like that.
It was a brilliant little nervous giggle there, I liked it.
Yeah.
As I say, it's fun, so you go out with just want to play with it, and you know there's a lot of slow guys out there as well, so you just have to weave your way in and out of them. Don't try and race the track, just try and ride it, you know, and just play with it. Got to be organised, you know. I've got everything set out. My dad and my brother, they're going to be in the pit box waiting for me as I come in. Fuel stop has to be quick, important. Change my goggles, my clothes, my gloves.
Yeah.
Have something to eat, that's important as well, you know. You don't want to start getting dehydrated or anything, so yeah, just the main thing is be organised, have fun, and stay out of trouble, hopefully not fall off. Yeah, it's difficult, you know. There's loads of guys out wanting to have more fun than me and less capable than me, so you just got to watch out for them. Don't jump over blind jumps or anything like that, you know. There could be a guy falling over. You have to be you have to notice the marshals, make sure they're doing their job correct, and if you see a yellow flag, watch out, you know, there's someone down. So the main thing is to not race it, as I said, just ride it, and yeah, just dodge around the guys, try and figure out where they're going to go. Sometimes it's not that predictable, but yeah, just do the best job, and yeah, just come round and stay out of trouble.
Back in 1983, and it was just a guy's idea that we come down to a seaside sort of resort where there's loads of facilities, and it would be a bit of a fun event at the end of the year. And then I come down all excited, and we got organised with a nice fast bike, you know. We geared up for doing 100 odd mile on the straight, and we come here, and I worked hard, and it all happened for me, and I won it, you know, which was lovely. So many things can happen out there. There's loads of slow guys, you know, enjoying themselves. They're falling off. You come over the top of one of the jumps, and they can be lying there, and you can't stop going downhill. So you've got to go up to the top of the hill and more or less stop and take a little look, just in case there's carnage at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be tough, especially with it being like this, but we've got a little while until, you know, we have to ride, so I'm hoping it's going to brighten up.
This is like the two-wheel equivalent of the London Marathon if you're an athlete, okay?
Okay.
Because in this race, you can race on exactly the same terms as world champions.
And so we move to the solo adult race on Sunday. Unfortunately, due to an accident on the start straight involving several competitors, in the interest of rider safety, the race was abandoned. So here now is some of the footage of the race before it was cancelled.
Madness. That's the only word I can say for it, madness.
And what would you expect now from the rest of the race?
I want to go home.
It's pure terror. I mean, once that bike starts moving on the sand, you wonder what's happening to you. Then you've got to open it up and just ride the bumps. But it's good.
So what actually happens then? When it all backs up, what's going through your mind? What are you thinking?
You're thinking, I hope I can get to the end in one piece.
And so we bring to a close the 27th running of the Weston Beats race. A great weekend, unfortunately cut short due to a serious accident, which brings home the risks these athletes take in pursuit of their sport. Our thoughts go out to the riders that were injured and their families, and we look forward to returning to this event next year. So let's take a look now at some of the moments that have made this such an enjoyable and iconic event.